Now I'll go into the clinic application, just minimize the monitor, create a new entity. It's going to be a new image entity. OK that. We don't need to worry about the transparent this time because it's just a complete button. We'll browse to where our button is, which is under RevSoft, Clinic Data, Images, and just move this up here slightly. We'll need to change to PNG and pick our open folder. And again, remember I prefix all of my entities, so just make that change and we will accept that and close. So we've created our entity. Now we go into the Forms Designer, File, and I'll just do a new form, no database, and OK. And on here I will drop on a new button. Now the button by default is put on there at a larger size than we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shrink that down to 20 by 20. And the only reason I'm doing that is so that our edit lines which are coming on, they're also 20 by 20. Sorry, 20 by 100. They're 20 high. And it just means that everything is aligned. If we double click on the button, I can go in and select a bitmap entity, come down to our M's, and then we'll just scroll down to our MP open folder. And the number of images, we need to change that to 3 because we've actually got 3 states to our button. Obviously, if we had more images on there rather than just a 3, or maybe you don't want a disabled, so you just got the 2, then you change that to 2 accordingly. Name it and change the text if you want to, but we'll just click OK. And there we go, we've got our button. And if we go in and we test run that, we'll save the changes. I'm just going to save this as MP test. I've normally got a form called MP test that I do rubbish things with. And you can see there that I can click that button and it just changes, appears to drop, which is quite nice. And if in our application we were to have that set as disabled, then OpenInsight will automatically change that and pick up the 3rd image, which is the grayscale image here. Now in my application you'll remember that we had some buttons that had some text on as well. The process is exactly the same, except what I do in here is I just drop on a button and change the text to whatever I want it to be. So my button, for instance. And then I'll just do a screen grab, go into my paint program and crop this so that I have the text on there. But also what I want to do is to have the disabled text. Now rather than going in and actually having to try and work out how to do that, I make the button disabled within the property sheet, and then that displays that with the grayed out text. And then I can do a print screen, copy this into my paint program, crop that, and then just align that text as well on the button. And that's really how I create the buttons in my application. Very easy, very quick. And once you start to build up a large library of buttons, then you can start to reuse those. So for instance, in my main copy of OpenInsight, if I go into MDP and I go into buttons, then you can see here that I'm already building up a library of buttons for my applications. And under media library I've got all my QBF buttons, I've got copy and cut, and I can just drop these straight into my applications and use them as they are. They're already created. What I tend to do is if I need to create a button for something new, I have a look in here and see if I've got something that I've already previously created, and if I have, then I use that. If you want to have copies of my buttons, give me a shout, but hopefully that's an easy way for you to create your own, and we'll go on and we'll use this folder button in our next lesson. Thanks so much for your time today. Bye bye.